City of stars, are you shining just for me? City of stars, there's so much that I can't see. Who knows? Is this the start of something wonderful and one more dream that I cannot.
Honestly, VCU's diversity is completely different from any other school.
My name is Veronica Lopez. I'm an information systems major. I'm also in the Da Vinci program here at VCU. I'm currently a junior, and just a reason I decided to go to VCU was, I don't know, I went on a tour to a whole bunch of different schools, and I don't know, I just like that atmosphere that VCU has. It just gave me a little bit something different, because each school that I went to, I always saw the same type of people in every single one. When I came to VCU, it was a little bit different. Like, there's different cultures here, and I really appreciated that, because that's like the type of environment I wanted to be in.
My name is Rohan Ibarra. I'm a junior in mechanical engineering. I decided to come to VCU because after having toured all of the colleges that I wanted to kind of consider going to, this one was kind of just gave me the best vibe. So it just felt right.
My name is Clement Omofa. I'm a sophomore journalism major. And the main reason why I chose VCU is the diversity aspect of it, as cliche as it sounds. I went to high school where it was pretty much everybody was similar to me. It's like 60% black, 40% Hispanic. So I came to VCU to get that diverse aspect. You know, you don't want to meet the same people every day. You want to try to get to know different people, different cultures, and things like that. So that was my main reason choosing VCU.
Hi, I'm Omira Zaki. I am a current junior here. Right now I'm studying public relations, so I actually just changed my major from health science to public relations. And on campus, I feel like I'm really involved because I'm a part of APB, which stands for Activities Programming Board. I hold the position of concert director, and so I plan all the on-campus concerts, including the homecoming concert, and sometimes when we have a spring concert, a smaller spring concert. I'm also a sister of Phi Mu fraternity on campus, which is one of the best things that I've ever done. You know, I feel like being a part of that sorority has definitely shaped me and molded me into the woman that I am today. So, hi, I'm Omira Zaki.
My name is Rashawn Khan. I'm an information systems major. I am originally from Springfield, Virginia. That's where I was born and raised. My family's from Pakistan. Now, I guess currently I'm working as an investor. And I have a research project to help disadvantaged youth in the East End learn programming. And yeah, that's about it.
My name is Marco Lim. I'm an HPEX major here at VCU. I'm a junior. And I am a first generation Asian American here living in Richmond, and I'm also a yoga teacher.
Well, I am Tiffany Erskine. I am from Alexandria, Virginia. I like to describe myself as someone who's awkward, funny, and weird. I'm culturally from Sierra Leone and Ghana, and I'm someone who loves their family deeply and their friends.
So I'm a double major in Homeland Security and Criminal Justice, and this is my junior year at VCU.
Well, I was born in Woodbridge, Virginia, and both my parents are from Puerto Rico. My dad is from Carolina, Puerto Rico, and my mom's from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. And somehow that, like, my culture has really affected me was, I don't know, getting to speak Spanish at a young age. I know not a lot of people do get to. Like, I always spoke in the house. Every single Sunday morning, I would always hear salsa music. That's a big one.
So when I was raised, both my parents are from India. I'm a first generation American. But at the same time, both of my parents kind of weren't that Indian for me. They didn't really, they assimilated. So I had more of an American upbringing with some Indian influences, but for the most part, it wasn't really a heavy cultural experience for me growing up. I would go do things with them at Indian events and all, with different heritage events and things, but for the most part, I was kind of just living a suburban life of an American family.
I'm Ghanaian, and my parents migrated here not even too long ago, maybe less than 20 years ago. So from the rip, like when I was born, when my brothers and sisters I was born, I was the youngest, and we were all kind of being pressured into making sure we're doing well in school. You know, African parents, everybody knows how they're like, oh, stay away from narcotas, this and that, and it's kind of like a derogatory term for black people. They try to shelter you from like certain experiences and stuff. So you always want to make sure like you're always on your P's and Q's and stuff to make sure like you're succeeding in school and whatnot. And yeah, it actually made things pretty hard, like transitioning into middle school and high school, because you have like all these like different people and you don't know how to act around them. So truthfully, it kind of made things hard, but you know, you adjust as you get older. So yeah.
So my past experiences growing up, so I am an Indonesian Muslim woman, and so growing up, I always felt like it was really difficult for me to try to balance it, because it was like three different worlds, you know, like my Indonesian culture and then my Islamic upbringing and then all of these Western American values. And so it was like trying to balance three different worlds when I only had two shoulders to hold myself up. And even now, I still feel like I haven't really found that balance, but it's just, I realize that it's not really me forcing myself into something that I can't be, or something that maybe my parents want me to be or my family wants me to be. I realize that it's more important like how I go about my life and not feeling forced to associate or, you know, try to fit into this certain mold that they want me to be in. So because growing up I felt like an outsider and I felt like people couldn't really relate to me when, for example, I was in elementary school and people would never really expect me to be Muslim because I was obviously Asian. And so when it was Ramadan time and I would come to school and I wouldn't be eating, or I would have to dress a certain way and I couldn't, you know, show off my skin, things like that, people would always question it and would always be kind of weirded out in a way. But when I would explain to them, you know, that Indonesia is actually the most populated Muslim country, it definitely did open up their eyes. And I feel like that was a good thing, exposing people to that, you know, at a younger age, because it's definitely a combination that you don't see very often.
So my parents they're very like culturally and religiously intact compared to me. They kind of view me as a rebel because I'm not like them in those senses. I'm a lot more, I guess I have a lot more of an American philosophy in a sense, but it's been skewed and blended with all the things that I've experienced. So, you know, I'm not 100% anything. Like, I identify as an American, not necessarily, I'm not a Pakistani, but their culture has been instilled in me, and it has changed my values, and they have taught me how important it is to give back and like, you know, try to help other people, even if you don't have a lot.
My parents were definitely traditional Filipino parents. They definitely try to uphold the Filipino culture in my household. Spoke to me in Tagalog, which allowed me to be partially bilingual. I've only been back to the Philippines once, but integrating into American culture as a firstborn child, it was definitely difficult for me. They didn't really know what they were doing, and I was trying to find my way here in America, trying to find my niche, but also still respect my family.
So I have a lot of Southeast culture, or Southeast Asian. It's going to be Burmese, Korean, Chinese, and then a little bit of Spanish and Hawaiian blood. Yeah. It's been difficult. Sometimes when I was younger, it felt like, you know, each culture was grabbing a limb and pulling me and just stretching me apart. But then as I got older and just started developing my own identity, it helped me shape who I am and like make me proud of all those things and whatnot.
Currently, I am in a salsa and bachata group here at VCU. It's called Muevelo. And I wouldn't say it was a passion of mine when I first got to VCU, I know when I was little, I hated salsa music with a passion, just because every time I heard it, it meant that I had to clean. So I wasn't that fond of it. But I know like around middle school, like the beginning of high school, I went to Puerto Rico. This was the first time I really saw like a live band, and this was the first time I asked my dad to dance, and then he was like so surprised because I never asked him to dance before. I always hated it. I always did it for him, but this time like seeing it live was like a lot different than like hearing it in the car and like hearing it when I was cleaning. So yeah, so that was when I first started getting into dancing. And then I came to VCU. I was looking for a salsa group just because I wanted to get to know like other Latinos who like dancing. I didn't want to just be part of a Latino group. I wanted to like be a part of a group that liked dancing, because that's the stuff I like to do. I wasn't that good at it, but I was like looking around for it. And I don't know, once I joined, I started going dancing like every week, and I got a lot better. And I would say it brings me back to my roots, just because just like hearing like Puerto Rican music once a week and spending time with my friends who also appreciate it, instead of going out and like hanging out with friends. I like prefer going dancing with my friends, and I don't know, it just feels really good when I go. I don't know.
I've been to a couple countries. Like I've been to India before, been to Canada, I've gone to Turkey, Germany, and France. Of all of those, I think I spent the most time between India and Germany, but because I learned German in like middle school and high school, I had a pretty good time there. Unfortunately, despite it being my heritage, I wasn't really able to communicate with anyone in India because I'm not very fluent in the language. So the first thing that kind of really happened to me when I got off the plane and I was in the airport and then I got out and I saw people in the city was I was generally just kind of shocked, because this was the first time that I'd gone anywhere and really witnessed the general population and not been I wasn't a minority for the first time. At the same time, I was still a minority because I was an American. I looked like everyone else. I wasn't like everyone else. I was part of another culture, still being a tourist in a way, but it was to my own culture. So it was just really interesting to kind of like witness that. But overall, it was an amazing trips. The times I went, I would visit family. I would go do touristy things and see different sites and all. And the general culture, it's just so diverse. You have everything from people sitting on the side with like a coal fire making corn to huge luxurious buildings where, like, for example, my uncle works. It's just a really nice corner office building high up.
My tattoos, I got my first tattoo when I was like a senior in high school, going into my senior year. And it was one of the Ghanaian symbols that always like been near and dear to me. My sister has the same tattoos up on upper arm. It's a Chinyame symbol. And it pretty much, like, after I first got that tattoo, I started realizing like I like tattoos a lot, and then I kind of went crazy with them. My parents, when they first saw that, they were kind of like off it a little bit, but I kind of convinced them, like, you know, I'm a well-spoken man, like I can handle myself, it's not gonna affect any job activities or anything like that. And from there, they've just been supportive of me. Like when I get them, they like them, they check them out and stuff and things like that. The rest of the like African community though, even when they see me, they start like, oh, like how'd you get all these tattoos? What did your parents say? Blah 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 blah. From there, like my tattoos like kind of showed me like my parents are different, they're special. Because for everybody else to be all like up in arms about it, but my parents are like, that's my boy. It's really something you can actually like brag about. So
I really do feel like my confidence level started growing when I joined that organization, the Indonesian Kids Performing Arts. So me being surrounded by that environment and being more immersed in my culture and realizing, you know, my voice within myself helped me to build my confidence, because being able to say that I performed, you know, around Washington, D.C. for 4 years of my life, and being a part of this organization and telling people that I came to college that, oh, I was like a performer and all this stuff, it definitely is a confidence boost. I feel like it would be for anybody, but coming into college, my confidence, honestly, I feel like has gone out the roof now, because I'm just so involved, and I feel like it is a really great thing to have, because people do aspire to have really great levels of confidence, and people admire me for it. I feel like it's given me more of that purpose, and it's given me like the reason why I am here today, despite all the hardships and all the insecurities and obstacles that I overcame. My confidence has persisted on.
So So last year, before I got into cryptocurrencies and the research project, I was sitting there thinking of ways to make money on the side. I have like a really business-driven mind, and I wanted to create a business with a couple of my friends, and we're kind of like brainstorming. I just had an idea about creating a program to help kids to learn coding. So, this is a big niche market, and the more I learned about it, the less I saw there were programs in Richmond, especially for disadvantaged youth. It's like, the high-end high schools like Maggie Walker and stuff might have something, but the kids out in like the East End and like the hood, they don't have access to resources. They don't always have computers either. So I kind of just my professor in one of my classes presented an idea where we get class credit and also a research grant. So I got paid a little bit for it. We're creating an idea and actually executing it. Created the plan, and the Salvation Army just took us up. They have a Boys and Girls Club down in the East End. The guy was telling me within a mile of their facility, between the ages of like 7 and 15, 58% of kids live below the poverty line. So it's like, it's a really bad area down there. So being able to make a difference there was something that was like, have some type of worthwhile impact. I'm hoping once I graduate, the program can continue.
Prior to getting my yoga teacher certification, I spent a year and a half dedicating myself to practicing yoga, trying to learn as much as I can, trying to talk to as many professionals as I could, trying to find mentors in the yoga community to guide me with everything that I wanted to know. I knew I wanted to become a yoga teacher because I just felt like I had a connection to providing some sort of bridge for people to understand themselves. And I went to Costa Rica because I knew I wanted to travel for my certification. I wasn't necessarily sure where, but just through intuition and listening to the universe, I paid for tuition to go to Costa Rica, flew there, and I found out that my teacher was one of the yoga superstars. Her name is Liz Lind. She's 3 steps away from Krishnamacharya, which is the man responsible for bringing yoga to the Western world. So after I found that out, I dedicated my studies to everything that she had to offer.
Well, my full name is Tiffany Kapoor Erskine. Tiffany is because my parents wanted to name me Tiffany because they thought that my older sisters, Agnes and Beatrice, had older names, so they wanted something a lot more youthful. And I guess they didn't name me after my grandparents because I only have 2. So yeah, and then Kufor is from my dad's his mom's maiden's name. Kufor is also recognized as John Kufor, who is the president of Ghana, who's my granduncle. And Erskine is from my dad's father's side. So he comes from a general army background. And if you want to know about General A.E. Erskine, he was a general, as Aisha said, and he was also part of the United Nations. So it's a lot of political background in my names. So for my political background, even from my mom's side, her maiden name is Kamara. So my uncle Dauda Kamara is an ambassador. So a lot of political figures are in my life. So I do have a strong opinion in the political aspect, especially when I have conversations with my father. So a lot of CNN is in my family, not a lot of Fox News is in my family, a lot of BBC, so a lot of their opinions and a lot of my parents' views structured my opinions.
So with my religion helped me with my loneliness by teaching me how to deal with the stress of being alone. So I'm a Buddhist, and I don't really consider it so much as a religion, but more of a lifestyle. The main thing about Buddhism is like just being at one with yourself and just trying to maintain peace and trying to remove any unnecessary wants and needs. So one thing that I did a lot that I started doing when I was a child was meditate. And whenever I felt lonely or felt sad, I would go into my room and just meditate and just try to take my mind off the things that were stressing me out. Meditation changed my life by making me the calm and chill person that I am today. It helps me like relax. It helps me to de-stress. It helps me to just take a moment and to focus on myself rather than the 101 things I have to do outside of, my own personal life. Like if I have an exam or if I have work or like things are just really stressing me out, I don't even bother doing anything else. I immediately go to my room, sit down, take 30 minutes for myself and just meditate. It helps a lot. So
I would say my dream in life is, I know it's super basic, but at the end of the day, I always want to be happy. I don't necessarily care about what I do, as long as whatever I do makes me happy. Because I've realized, like, if you set up these long-term goals for yourself, which it's okay, like it makes sense, but I've realized that it kind of distracts me from what's around me. It doesn't help me appreciate what's, I guess taking advantage of the things that you have, if you're not necessarily looking for them because you have a different plan in mind, it just kind of skews it. I don't know, me being all dramatic here. Jesus Christ. I don't know. So I don't really set up long-term goals for myself. I'm more of that short-term goals, like, oh, I want to do this today. Oh, I want to send this email. Like, it's the smallest little things, but my long-term goal, I would say, is always to be happy. So I guess that's my dream, because a lot of people aren't happy, I guess, just because of like the things that they go through. So just having that type of perspective, just anything that makes me happy, I'm all for it.
VCU stood out to me because they didn't really feel kind of polarized. They didn't feel whitewashed. Didn't feel like there was a general population with a general kind of idea of how things are. I didn't feel like I had to cater to just one crowd. There were all these different groups of people here, so I could witness and be part of just different groups of people rather than kind of conform to one.
It helped me grow as a person in that I start to see different perspectives. Like back in high school, all of us kind of thought the same, came from the same neighborhoods, this and that, so we had similar experiences, not the same, but similar. Here I'm meeting people from all different types of places, like not just stereotypical type of like environments and things like that. So you get to know their perspectives, why they think the way they do, why they act the way they do, and it's actually pretty interesting to see, and then you learn from that also. So that's what I've learned so far from this.
Well, being in a predominantly white sorority, I think that was really one of the biggest concerns that I had, and so a lot of people were actually surprised that I ended up joining the sorority that I did, because they always thought I would fit into another one better. But at the same time, it wasn't really about the ethnicity or like the differences between all of us, because I came to VCU for a reason, for the diversity and the inclusion, and so I really didn't think it affected me. And even now, sometimes I do, I guess, feel like an outsider in a way, but I know that it's really not because of like, what they put out to be. It's just because of, past experiences and how I grew up, and sometimes I would just feel like an outsider growing up. So I guess it's just like that mindset that I had from before. I brought it onto my life now, but I really don't think it affects me as much as some people would think it does.
I'm not gonna lie, one of the things that drew me to VCU was that I was a pre-med student. I was bio pre-med when I came in, and they have a really good health program. So that's what initially got me here. My sister went here too, so I was able to see the campus. I'm far away enough from home for my parents not to show up, on the dime. But once I got here, I kind of got trapped in like the community. It's so open and welcoming. You never know what you'll see. Like I'll walk to class and I'll see like 10 dudes doing skateboard tricks. Someone else like in the middle of the campus with a sign saying free hugs, and someone else protesting something down the street. Like there's so much going on, and it's so engaging and exciting. So that's one of the things that's attracted me here. And the school is very it's open-minded. I'm pretty liberal too, and they're pretty liberal. Overall, it's like the perspective of the students. People don't shut other people out for no reason, for the most part. At least not the people that know.
My dream for the future is for all of us to be able to be treated equally. I am a firm believer of equal rights, and not just with the color of my skin, with gender, with religion, with cultural background. It's all it says in the amendments that we are supposed to do that, but however, in the world we live in, we don't live by the book. Especially in America. I believe my dream for the future is that we have a stronger gun reform, especially as of right now. And I hope that it can just stop. We can stop relying on technology and Twitter to get our voices out instead actually put action to our words. And a dream that I have a dream for that the future isn't so heavily reliable on our technology, and just like Martin Luther King, you actually have to stand up and fight, and instead of Twitter hopping like Trump.
Coming here to VCU 1 has definitely helped me out a lot with understanding that there's a lot of diversity in this world, and I don't have to feel like I have to guard who I am. I feel like after coming here, it's really opened me up as a person, and I can express myself and express my traditions and norms and not be judged by other people. And I don't judge other people as well.